Today I've got 5 tips for you on how to make sure your wedding decor really works for you, wows your guests, and make sure you're not going to waste any money on unnecessary decorations. Ciao, I'm Lucy. I'm an Italian wedding planner and the founder of Lista.com. I've planned over 200 Italian weddings and I want to give you loads of advice and knowledge to make sure that your wedding planning is calm and enjoyable and your wedding day is epic. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel here at La Lista and make sure that you're up to date with all the videos that we post here. Okay, so the first thing to do to make sure that your decor is going to work for you is to assign the right budget from the start. A lot of people think that decorations don't actually cost that much, and that's different to meaning that you don't have to spend that much on your decorations. There are some things that just cost money, and you should probably think about starting with a decent decor budget so that as you go throughout planning, you don't find that as you get to the end, either you haven't got enough decor budget, so you're disappointed and you can't do what you actually want to do for your wedding, or you end up massively overspending on your decor because you didn't start with enough budget. In a previous episode, I've just outlined the cost of having an Italian wedding in 2023 or 24, and this gives some insight into what decorations actually cost. In my own weddings, we always allocate about €8,000 to decorations, and that is a huge amount of money, but actually it goes quite quickly, and you can probably get a feel for what you want to spend by going on lalista.com and seeing what lighting and flowers specifically cost in our articles. The second thing to do is to make sure that you've prioritised your decoration spend by the bits of the day that are most important to you and the bits of the day that perhaps need a bit more decoration than others. So an example might be that you have the most amazing ceremony setting, you have a beautiful view, and actually you don't need to do much here to really make it a wow wedding. In another area, for example, on the tables, you might have quite a bare space, you may have a courtyard or something, and you may want to jazz that up with some lighting and some really nice flowers on your table. So in that scenario, I'd weight more of the decor budget to that part of the day. I'd also suggest that you spend maybe more of your decor budget on the dinner section of the day, because you're at this part of the day for a lot longer than others. So your guest is sitting here for quite a long time, and that approach to the table is really where you can make them go, wow. They then get to dine at that table and have the dining experience of their lives in your amazing setting with your amazing decorations. And this is the part of the day where you usually transition from day to night. So it's got a lot of atmosphere going already. If you just add some decorations here and really think about lighting and atmosphere. The third tip is how to use lighting well. So lighting, unsurprisingly, costs quite a lot of money and can really take up your decor budget. But actually, you may see lots of photos with incredible lighting. We've all seen the fairy lighting curtains that go all the way over dinner. Actually, if you ask any photographer or videographer, that lighting is not good for the photos and the video. The quality of lighting is often not good. There's too much lighting. So actually there's a lot to be said for stripping back lighting, using really warm colours and bulbs, and having less of it. In my opinion, and based on the weddings that I've had this summer, really nice festoon lighting is still absolutely key and gold. And having a simple disco ball over the party with light shining on it, which is actually incredibly low cost, lights up the whole space and creates this amazing starry sky atmosphere. You could easily spend hundreds if not thousands on loads of lighting over your dinner and your party, but actually those two key things create the atmosphere that most weddings need. My fourth decor tip is to break the rules and question everything. Everything that you've seen before, everything that you see on Pinterest, that's what someone else did, and it doesn't mean it's right. You don't have to have the same colours through a wedding. You don't even have to have a decor theme. Just do what you feel is right for you. So an example of this is at many of our weddings this summer, we have had one colour palette at the ceremony. Maybe a small theme of that goes through the whole day, but ultimately keeping the ceremony quite formal and often a certain palette, and then really going in wow and dramatic for the dinner. And this dinner space tends to be where couples feel a little bit more relaxed to go big and go wow, and maybe use some of the colours that they really like but they're just not quite sure about using for other parts of the day. You could just go big in your table decorations again, as I mentioned earlier, and really bring out your personality and the colours that are exciting to you. Things like favours. Oh my gosh, You do not need favours. They are a nice to have, and in my opinion, just have favours if you actually have a really good idea for them, or you have something that's really meaningful to you and your guests that's worth spending money on. Otherwise, these are many different areas of the day where you can actually just waste money on having things because you think that you need to have them. A better way of thinking about favours for your guests is actually your entire wedding itself. You're already treating your guests to catering throughout the day, drinks, and lots of other activities and experiences. Having these other little touches really aren't necessary anymore. So my 5th tip is reuse and recycle. There are so many elements of weddings that you can reuse. So really ask your suppliers if there are things or materials that they've got, or they've even got left over from other weddings that they'd consider using for yours. Examples of this might be candles that were lit and didn't really get used for another wedding. Items of pottery, for example, vases and containers that are used for wedding flowers that you could just repurpose for yours. This is not to save money, this is not to be cheap and reuse other things. This is just simply to recycle and find materials that are great and valuable that other people just haven't used to their full potential that you can use. I think this is a really nice story for your wedding as well, if you've used elements that are local and recycled, and they limit the waste that your wedding can have and the impact that it can have on the environment. There is so much unnecessary waste in weddings, and there is so much unnecessary spend, and this is a real area that you can look to reduce your own costs but also reduce the impact that your wedding has. And I'm going to give you a bonus tip. So my 6th tip is my little secret to planning decor at weddings. There's going to be a whole tutorial on this in our new membership, the club, over on Lista. So my 3 ways to plan decor for weddings is to keep it seasonal, keep it suited to the venue, and keep it suited to the couple. And we style everything based on these 3 factors. These 3 factors are also ways to reduce your decor budget and to maximise your decor spend. So if you think keeping it suited to the venue, that basically means using the spaces that you have to their absolute maximum potential and limiting the decor that you need to put in place. Suiting it to the season means using seasonal decor and flowers, which are most commonly locally produced, which keeps the costs down. Styling and sourcing things based on season means that you actually reduce the amount of decor that you need yet again, because it seasonally works with the location that you're in. But it also means that you're going to source those decorations and flowers locally. The fact that they've been sourced or grown locally means that they're likely to come from somewhere nearby, reducing the cost of transport and production, and therefore maximising your decor budget. So there you are, you've got my 5 or 6 tips on how to make your decor work for your Italian wedding. If this video has been useful, please let me know in the comments below. I love to know if you're enjoying these videos and what else we can do to support you. And don't forget that we've got a community of couples over on Facebook, almost 1,000 couples in there now, planning their Italian weddings, sharing information, knowledge and advice just like this. Come and join us. I hope you have a really great week, and I'll see you here next week for our next episode.